If you built a SaaS product and you've got revenues flowing, but you don't have those predictable revenues yet, you don't have that scalable go-to-market machine yet, then it's time to build out your scalable SaaS sales funnel. Here's the thing though, the playbook for scaling SaaS companies has completely changed. So in this episode, across all the founders that I coach, across all the SaaS companies that I run, I'm going to bring you the 3 key SaaS sales funnel strategies that are actually working today and driving growth. And when you implement one or more of these SaaS sales funnel strategies, say that 10 times fast, you will be able to accelerate your path to the next stage of growth. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. If you're already part of this community, we're fast approaching 82,000 subscribers. So awesome to see you over here. I'm really grateful to all of you. Across the 500 plus SaaS companies that I've coached to drive growth, across the 3 SaaS companies that I run now, across the SaaS companies that have started, scaled, and exited, I've seen all different permutations on how to scale a go-to-market machine. Today, the playbook is evolving faster than ever. I did an episode on the 3 strategies for scaling SaaS sales funnels, but since then, a lot has happened. I've gotten into rooms with founders, I've coached founders, we've built scalable machines, we've even exited SaaS companies. In this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 key strategies that are working today, given all the changes that have happened in SaaS. So if you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's dig right into it. Now, before I give you the 3 strategies I'm gonna walk you through, let me lay out the chessboard. Now, a way a sales funnel works, whether it's in SaaS or any type of business, is first your ideal customers have to know about you, then they have to trust you, and then they have to decide that they're going to buy from you versus your competition. So all the strategies I'm going to be talking about are designed to get your ideal customers to know about you, to trust you, and then ultimately buy from you. That's literally what we are designing the funnel for. Now, there's 3 different ways that I'm going to be talking about, and each of them have shifted in unique ways, and each of them have different requirements. So let's dig right into it. The first SaaS sales funnel strategy that works, that I coach founders on, especially early stage founders, is referrals. Now, referrals are one of the best ways to get more customers. In fact, a lot of founders come to me in my go-to-market program and they say, hey, listen, TK, I'm kind of out. I've tapped out of the referrals. I've asked all my customers. I've tapped out of the network. A lot of founders get initial traction, revenues flowing with the people that they already know in their network. But what they don't do a lot of times is actually go to their happy customers and say, hey, you already know about our product. You know what we do. You likely know more people. You have peers that will get value from our product. Would you be able to refer us? And this is one of the best SaaS sales funnel strategies because it solves for a few things. They already know the peers that would get value from your product. And the peers already trust your customers and your customers trust you, hopefully, which means that very quickly they can move through the knowing you to the trusting you to buying from you. And that's one of the key reasons referrals are very powerful, because it gets people that don't know about you, they're outside of this funnel, and gets them moving through knowing you, trusting you, and then buying from you very aggressively. And that's the point of any single sales funnel strategy. You're trying to get more and more people to know about you, trust you, and buy you as effectively as possible. So referrals are one of the best ways to actually mobilize your existing customers and your existing network, because they already know your ideal customers, your future customers. They already trust each other and they trust you. Your customers trust you, so they'll buy from you a lot faster. It's one of the best things to implement in your SaaS sales funnel so that you start to get this momentum going faster and faster and faster. Once you have the referrals going, one of the key things around your overall go-to-market strategy is going to come across. You're going to start to understand who your ideal customer profile is. Now, everyone thinks they have an ideal customer profile. When I do a proper ICP exercise with founders, we follow a 29-point analysis to really understand who the ideal customer is going to be. But as you start to get referrals flowing, as you look at your existing customers, you should start to understand what is your ideal customer profile so that you can go and find more of them. This is a crucial piece to solve because the rest of the strategies that I'm going to be telling you about requires you to know it in order to be effective in it. So let's move on to the second strategy. The second strategy is one of my favorites, is an inbound. And today, inbound has shifted more than ever before. It used to be that you could go out there and you could do a blog post and you can place for certain SEO keywords and you would get traffic flowing in. Today, people are searching less and less on Google, and people are still trying to figure out how do you place in ChatGPT or Google Gemini or whatever LLM you're using, like Claude. So inbound has shifted. What works really well for inbound is social media. Actually going on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever your ideal customer is hanging out, and getting their attention so that they know you, building their trust, and then getting them to buy from you is one of the most effective ways today to build out your SaaS sales funnel. Now, depending on your ideal customer profile, the channel may be different for inbound. For your ICP, it may be LinkedIn. For your ICP, it may be YouTube. It may be Instagram. It depends. And that's one of the things you'll have to figure out to be effective in inbound. But the biggest thing that works really well is to put content out there so your ideal customer profile starts to know you. They can consume that content. They start to trust you. And by the time they're buying, they're more likely to buy from you than your competition. The reason inbound is one of my most favorite sales funnel strategies is because when someone comes to you, when they're booking a demo, it's the most magical thing because they are already aware of what you do and they came to you. So you don't have to work as hard as you would if you were to go to them. Because they're coming to you, they're more ready to buy. They already trust you to a certain extent. They're really in market. They actually know they have a problem. So the way you sell them becomes a lot more easier. Now, it's still not easy to sell. You still have to win the deal. You have to win against the competition, but inbound leads and inbound pipeline are just worth that much more. Now, before I go to the third one and really talk about the nuances of the third one, you can probably guess what the third one is, but you probably don't know what the nuances are on winning in it today. My last company specialized in this third strategy, so I know a lot about it and I've been watching it very closely. But before I go into that one, let me pause here for a second. Now, one of the biggest things that's important in whatever sales funnel strategy that you follow, the first one is ICP, and we talked about that. But there's another one. There's an invisible hand that can actually hold you back from being effective. I meet so many founders and go-to-market teams that are going out there and they're saying, hey, TK, we asked for referrals, we're running ads, we're posting online, but nothing's happening. There's an invisible hand that can be holding you back even though you're running all the activities. This is one of the things where in this channel and in the founders that I coach and in my go-to-market program, we separate out the activities from the strategy. These are all activities, asking for referrals, doing inbound, and whatever else I'm going to mention to you. But the strategy defines how you approach it. I already gave you one, the ideal customer profile. There's a second one that is an invisible hand that can be holding you back. For every single piece of email that you send, for every single social media post, or every single blog post, or every single time you go to an event and talk to someone, or every cold call, whatever you're doing, there's a thing that you're saying. There's certain words that you're using. And we call that the message. This is how you're communicating what you guys do and why they should trust you and why you do it 10 times better than the competition and why they need to take action now. This is all encompassed in the messaging, in your positioning, in your strategic narrative for your company. A lot of times, founders are actually executing on referrals or inbound or 50 other ways of generating demand and getting people to know you and trying to get them to trust you and buy from you. But their messaging is off. They never stop to really think about what is our message? Is it differentiated? Is it clear? Will people care? So one of the key things that I've learned in this journey is the strategies are changing and you have to get them right. But in order to execute in them in the right way, you also have to get the ICP and the message right. Now, we're gonna get to the third one, the third key sales funnel strategy and how it's shifted today, how the playbook has shifted. I have one more thing that holds you back. So we'll talk about all of those. But before I do that, if you're starting to get value from this, if you're starting to get some aha moments on how you're gonna be able to transform your SaaS sales funnel so you can actually take your B2B SaaS business and take it to the next stage of growth, can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Honestly, it just loves it when you do that. And it means a world to us because we put a lot of love into these videos and it shows us that you're getting value. Also, if you're in this stage where you're building out your SaaS sales funnel and you're trying to figure out what is our ICP, what is our message, how do we do inbound, how do we get referrals going, then I run my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of this program, I give you the step-by-step instructions to actually implement all these strategies. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll put more information in the description below. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. Let's go to the third strategy. You probably guessed it, but the reason you're still watching and the reason I want you to keep watching is there are nuances now. The third strategy is outbound. Outbound has shifted more than anything else. Inbound is shifting because of LLMs, referrals, there are ways to do it in the right way, but outbound has shifted the most. Now, my last company, ToutApp, we pioneered the sales engagement space. Before we came into the market, along with Outreach and SalesLoft and Yesware, no one knew that you could use email templates, you could do email tracking, and you could send 5 templates in sequence to each other. Like, that didn't exist, and we created that. And for a good 10 years, you could hire armies of SDRs and you could have them sit there and download data from ZoomInfo or wherever else you got it, load it into the sales engagement tool and fire off sequences. You could just do that and you could generate pipeline. The thing is, everyone figured it out. Everyone figured out that those emails are automated. Spam filters got better. Everyone figured out that you could just go on LinkedIn and figure out what college you went to, figure out the sports team and mention it, and they know it's fake personalization. So the spray and pray of outbound is no longer working. Now, there's this entire army of what they call AI SDRs. AI SDRs that can do super personalization and really figure it out. And it's still questionable on whether those are working or not. However, given all of that, we still have companies that are wildly successful in outbound. The reason they're successful is they have their messaging dialed in. In a sea of emails, it will still cut through if the messaging is right and you're reaching out to the right people. So the more relevant your ideal customer profile, the better your message, the better outbound is going to be. And the one additional thing that we've seen work really well is when you get outbound working, get them to come to your website and then cookie them and get them to retarget them across all their channels so they see your content and they come inbound. Or see if they're connected to an existing customer and get them to give you a referral. So this outbound piece is evolving faster than ever. As long as you get your messaging right and your targeting right, and you actually retarget them to bring them through these other strategies, it starts to come together really effectively. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna reach out to them with the right message, but then you're gonna run ads so that you can actually get them to come either through inbound or through a referral. And that's what really makes outbound work for a SaaS sales funnel today. Now, I mentioned to you that there's this third piece. So there's this third piece that comes into play that's a big choke point for companies that I've seen. The first one is ICP, we talked about that. The second one is the message. The third one is what I call the sales motion. Now, industry average, if you get an inbound lead, you should be at around a 50% win rate. Meaning the percent of times where you get an opportunity to buy from you should be at 50%, maybe 40%. But they came to you. So if you're not hitting at 40% or 50%, then either your ICP is off or your message is off or your sales process is off. The motions you're following for your sales process. Now for outbound, it's even harder. Because you went to them and you got them to take a meeting with you, the average benchmark is 20%. Which means that your sales motion has to be that much better. It takes that much more work to get an outbound deal to actually buy from you, to actually trust you. That's crazy, but it requires a proper sales process. Now, a lot of companies, when I first start working with them, a lot of founders think a proper sales process is, hey, we gave them a demo and asked for the deal. But the truth is, if it's inbound, you need a proper sales process for building momentum for inbound. If it's outbound, you need a proper sales process to build that trust because you're starting from scratch. If it's outbound and an enterprise deal, you have a longer sales cycle, so you have to figure out how to introduce urgency. All of this goes under the sales motion. All of this goes into establishing a proper sales strategy so that it empowers your funnel, so that as people are getting to know you, they actually trust you faster because you're targeting them and you have the right message, and they're buying from you at a higher clip because you have the right sales motion. That's one of the key caveats that comes into play, particularly for outbound, because the win rates are lower. Now with inbound, you can have less of a sales process and still win, but if you're not at 40 or 50%, it means you're leaving money on the table. You can be earning so much more. If you're outbound, you have to get your sales process dialed in, otherwise you're just not gonna be successful. Okay, so now let's recap. These are the 3 key strategies that are working today for scaling SaaS companies. Number 1, go to your existing customers and ask for referrals. You will eventually tap out of this. You only have so many customers, you only have so many people in your network, but it's a good place to start, and this will help you clarify your ideal customer profile. So number 2 is inbound. Get your inbound sales funnel working. And number 3 is outbound. Go to your ICP with the message that you know resonates on a consistent clip and get them to come to you. Have that dual flank strategy so even when you're approaching them, you're actually retargeting them with ads so they also see you everywhere. And then make sure you have the right sales process so you actually win those outbound deals and those inbound deals. Now, these 3 strategies, referrals, inbound, outbound, are working effectively across the SaaS companies that I coach. However, in order for them to be effective, you need to have a proper go-to-market strategy. This is all the execution. Referrals, inbound, outbound requires a certain set of steps that you need to take to be effective in them, and you have to execute on them. But how you go about it, your ICP, your ideal customer profile, the message that you're using, the motion that you're following to not only just to generate leads, but to actually close those deals so they buy from you as they trust you. That's all super important. So if you're in this stage where you're like, TK, I want to implement these strategies. I want to get my ICP right. I want to figure out what my message should be because I'm in a competitive space and people aren't quite getting it. I want to figure out what my sales process should be. It's taking forever and our benchmarks are completely off. Then this is why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of this coaching program, I give you the step-by-step framework to follow to build out your ideal customer profile. Once you have your ideal customer profile, then we build out a manifesto. Manifesto is the framework that I use to build out your messaging, your positioning, and your strategic narrative. This turns into something that you can use to generate leads, but also turns into something that you can use as your sales deck, which is super important. And then the third piece comes into play. The third piece is the Broadway show. The Broadway show is a consistent set of sales and marketing activities that you can run, not only to generate pipeline using these strategies, but also win those deals with a proper sales process. It's an incredible program. So if you'd like to work together, just go to tkkader.com/GTM. tkkader.com/GTM. Now on that page, you get all the details about the program. If you'd like to join the program, all we ask is you answer a couple of questions and book a short Zoom call with us. On the Zoom call, we'll review where you are, and if it's a fit, we're off to the races right away. So just go to tkkader.com/GTM and also link to it in the description below. Now also, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that, and honestly, so do we. We love creating these videos. Our team works really hard to figure out the right topics and to structure it in the right way for me to figure out how I'm going to tell you these unlocks in the right way. So if you're getting value, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It loves it when you do that. Also, it loves when you share it with other people. So if you have a fellow founder, a team member, if you're part of a Slack group or WhatsApp group of other founders that would get value from this video, please share it with them. It would just mean the world to us as well. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, where you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode or inside the SaaS Go-to-Market Coaching Program. Take care, everybody.